Zennies, welcome to my at-home Zen space, complete with dog bed and dog toys and dog fur all over the floor. It's perfect. So I had some requests to share some of the newest choreography, especially since not everyone's able to make it to the classes during the day. So stay tuned for the newest Zen schedule. Also, Emily gets a special shout out today for being so devoted to her dancing even though she's working. So this will be a good example of what kind of choreography we will do in the Floorwork classes if you haven't joined me yet. If you are trying this today at home, make sure you do a warm-up first. Typically in my classes, we will do like a warm-up together. We'll also have a conditioning segment and then we'll learn some choreography. So for today's video, we're going to jump right into the choreo. So all you need is a little bit of floor space, free of anything that you can kick. I would recommend socks, knee pads if you have them. Shoes are always welcome if you'd like. Today's dance is going to have a little bit more of a lyrical flair, so I'm not going to be wearing the shoes today, but I think having the toe coverage is really important. Okay, for today's dance, we're also not going to focus as much on counts as we are on musicality. Okay, so that might be a little bit different. So I'm going to show you a few segments, a few counts of 8, and then I'll break them down. Okay, so we'll start with our beginning position. So we're going to start facing the back wall. So if this is the audience or the front, I'm going to face the back. My position of my legs are going to be bent, toes on the floor, hands behind me. My fingers are pointing towards me. And here you have two choices. You can keep your nice deep bend in your elbows and leaning back into your hands, or you can start on your forearms. I'm going to start here today. So the first, as soon as the lyrics start, we're going to lift our right leg, followed by our left. So right's going to come up, left come up, right comes down, left comes down. And if you want to see that from this angle, I'm not necessarily keeping straight legs. I'm doing a bit of a cycle, but I'm making it nice and slow. I'm bringing my knees towards my elbows. Okay, so from there, we went right up, right down. As soon as my right leg comes down, I'm going to shift towards the right side of my body. So I'm going to roll onto the right side of my body, placing my hands in front of me so that I'm ending up on my belly. And as you're noticing, my left leg is the last thing to come down. So I'm going to show that again. Right comes up, left comes up, right comes down. I'm pivoting, and my left leg is the last to come down. From here, I'm going to continue that pivot onto the left side of my body. I'm going to keep my left forearm on the ground for contact. You can spread your fingers out nice and wide. I'm going to take my right hand and push away from the floor so that I can crunch my knees up to my chest. So my right leg is on top, left leg is underneath, and I've crunched. Okay, let's take that from the beginning here. Our beginning position, toes pointed on the ground. I'm going to lift right, lift left, lower right, and roll onto my belly. Left leg last to come in. Continue that roll and crunch my knees into my chest. My right hand is going to touch the top of my right leg, and I'm going to push it back using my left arm contact on the floor to push away to bring me to a nice seated position here. And again, it's the same seated position with our legs as in the beginning. Knees bent, toes down. Okay, so I'm going to do that with music. Hopefully, YouTube lets this song happen. It is called Save Tonight by The Land Below. I'll also link it in just in case. So I'll make sure we turn it up nice and loud so we get into our beginning position here. As soon as the lyrics begin, we bring our right leg up, down, roll, keep rolling, crunch your knees, push back. While we're doing this dance, it's that's really important, especially as we're keeping up with that lyrical vibes, is to keep our toes pointed. So our toes, ankles, and knees. I don't know if you can see the dog fur flying, but that's my reality. So we're crunching in, my top hand and my top leg are swooping back. I'm pushing with that left to bring myself up to seated. So from here, the lyric is candlelight. So you can kind of take, choose your own adventure for that section. Some things you can do, some head sways, some arm sways, some arm reaches, okay, for candlelight. So I'm going to sway my head. From here, I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to plant them to the left side of me. So my left hand plants beside me, my right hand plants over, and I'm going to finish the roll to come back onto my belly. My arms are staying extended. I have a bit of a bend in my elbow and my chest is lifted. Okay, so we just did candlelight. We're going to roll and stay lifted. From here, I'm going to push down into the floor with the palms of my hands as well as the tops of my feet. It's going to look like this. I'm going to pike up, lift my hips nice and high, and bring it back down. Okay? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, perfect. So the pike from this angle would look like, I've got my hands planted on the ground, the tops of my feet on the ground, and I'm going to push into the floor, lift my hips up and down. Okay? So let's try that from the beginning without music, and then we can try it once with music and we'll go on. So my beginning position, I'm nice and low on the floor. The music starts saying go on, up, down. I'm going to roll onto my belly. Left leg is the last to come in. Roll. Keep that roll going. Crunch my knees in and push it back to sitting. Nice and slow. Candlelight. My hands are going to plant beside me on the left. I'm going to roll onto my legs. Chest nice and high. I'm going to lift my hips and bring them back down. Okay? Let's try that with music. Perfect. Here we go. Starting your beginning position, we will be lifting our right leg first. Here we go. Go on down, roll. Nice and slow, keep rolling and crunch. Push it back. All we need head sway. Is candlelight. Now plant your hands onto your legs, pike it up. And a bottle of wine. I hold you tonight. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We just piked it up. Really using your core to keep your hips up off the ground. So from here, I'm going to continue to roll. I'm going to find the right side of my hip. So my right hip here, I'm going to twist my body so that I'm on my right hip. Release this hand. My left hand is going to come to the other side, just to continue my roll like this. And I will find my knees. I'll slow that down one more time. So we did a little reverse here. We pike it up. Really crunch your abs. Release back down. Staying into the right side of my body until I can roll to the left and sit on my knees. Okay, that's option one. I'll give you one more challenge. I'll do it from this angle first. Pike it up and down. I find the right side of my body and roll onto my knees. I ran out of space. I'll give you one extra challenge. If you would like something to work on, I'll show you what it looks like first. So we just finished our pike. I'm gonna roll and I'm going to do a lift. Okay, I think I have fur in my mouth. So I'll show you that lift. As we roll, I plant my right foot. My left foot is going to be the one that leaps, and I'm aiming to fall onto the tops of my foot. I'm pushing with the ball of my right foot and both my hands to get a small leap to find my knees. The more you practice, the bigger the leap can get. Okay, so we can work on that a little bit more together in our classes. So we're gonna move on. We take it from the pike up and down, right side of the body, rolling onto the left to come onto our knees. I'm gonna add one more thing, and then we're gonna take it with music. From here, I'm going to plant my hands down on the floor. Fingers nice and wide, pushing into the floor. We're gonna do a body wave all the way down until we can extend our legs. So I'm gonna go, it's gonna look like this. Head, chest, belly, legs. Okay, so my legs are staying together. In order to do this, I'm going to plant my head first. So now my hips are coming up. My chest is gonna plant to the ground, and then I'm gonna push my knees back towards the left wall. Knee pads would be important for that. Also putting a little bit more pressure on the tops of your feet as you slide out to release any pressure on your knees. I'm going to do that one more time, and it has just no pauses in between. Keep the movement flowing. So we go head, chest, belly, legs. Okay? So there will definitely be a musical cue for that. So we will try it with the music, and then we will add a shoulder stand. Here we go. So we get into our beginning position. Arms down. Right leg first.
Go on and close.
Keep rolling.
The curtains, 'cause all we need
Arms sway.
is candlelight.
Hands roll.
You and
We're
me
gonna pick it up.
and a bottle of
And now we roll
wine.
onto the right, onto the left,
Hold
and sit.
you
Throw it into the
tonight.
air. And here we go. Hands.
Well, we know I'm going away.
Okay. So we had a little bit more time. Once we rolled onto our legs, we can do a chest roll and a hair whip while we wait for our hands to plant. Body roll down. Okay? So my hands are extended and they're underneath my shoulders. We're gonna do a bit of a grip switch. So my back arm, the one back here, my left arm is going to flip. Right now it's here. It's gonna flip here. The front arm or the right hand is not going to move. So it's up to you if you prefer palm down or palm up. I prefer palm down to prep for our shoulder stand. So again, we went from hands both here. Back hand is going to flip down here. My head is staying glued to the floor. Okay, so I'll show you the next step. I'm gonna push into the floor with both of my hands, going to crunch, I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, squeeze my quad, I'm gonna lift my hips towards the ceiling. I'm lifting on the tops of my toes. So I'm going to press, okay? And then you come down the same way that you came. So again, focusing on the tops of the toes. So that's option one. Do the press and then roll it back down. If you're looking for a bit of a challenge, we can do more of a splay. So the goal is my toes are gonna lift, they're gonna come, and one is going to peel open for a bit of a splay, close, and then release back down, the same way we came. It looks like this. Press. My right leg is going to open towards the audience, close, and bring it back down. So I'm keeping on the tops of my toes or on our toe box if you're wearing heels. Okay? So we did our roll we are waiting for the music to change. We do our body wave, flip our grip, back hand goes, extends my back arm. I'm gonna press up, and if I'm feeling confident, I can open my front leg, close it, and release it back down, okay? Perfect. So, grab a drink of water if you are doing this following along, and we'll take it from the top with music. Okay. So here we go. We'll just have a little bit more to add, okay? So we're going to start from facing the back.
Go on and go,
Keep rolling and touch. Push it back.
'cause all we need
And sway.
is candlelight.
Hands
You
roll.
and me
Hike it up
and a bottle of wine.
and roll.
I
And you want to
hold
add hop.
you tonight.
Chest roll. Get ready to dive down.
Well, we know
Good. Flip your grip. Press it up. Open, sway. Close and release down. Good. Okay. Perfect. Let me just see. Okay, so let's add a little bit more. So as a recap, we dove it down, body roll down, keeping my knees together, flip my grip. Again, my knees and toes are still together. I'm pushing up. I open my splay if I feel comfortable, close it, and now my knees are together, pushing down. I'm gonna re-flip my grip, and what I mean by that is, we dove it down like this, we flipped our grip here to do our pike up. I'm gonna bring my arm back where I was. So now both of my hands are under my shoulders, my fingers are extended, I'm pushing into the floor. I'm going to keep my toes together, open my knees, and I'm going to lift my hips up to the ceiling, and I'm gonna push back. And you can drag it all the way. So I'll show you again. We're here. I can open my knees, bring my hips up to the ceiling, and drive into the floor to push it back. Okay? So now I'm sitting, I'm picking up more for as I go. I'm sitting on the tops of my feet. I'll show you the next series of movements, and it does not matter which leg you choose or which direction you choose to spin on. If you're not wearing knee pads for this, or at least some significant knee coverage, it might not be very pleasant. So I'm going to lift my hips and place one of my legs in front. Lift. So I'm going on the balls of my toe. If you're wearing heels, again, you don't want your heel on the floor, and I'm going to lean into it. Okay? So you can choose, be mindful of what you're doing with your hands. They can come out, or they can stay in, they can come back, okay? So from here, we're going to lift and press, and then we're gonna spin to face the back. So again, it doesn't matter which way feels more comfortable based on which leg is in front. You're on the balls of your feet. That's what's gonna push. You can use your arms to swing and give you a bit of momentum to turn. I'll show you what it looks like. Spin and sit. So my knees are apart. I'm gonna push, I'm gonna use my arms, my knees are gonna come together, and I'm gonna sit. So for reference, my right leg is staying on the ground, my left leg is coming up. I'm gonna spin towards the right, knees together, and sit. Then from here, once you sit, lean it back. Your hands can again choose their own adventure. I'm gonna take my right hand hugging my belly and my left hand hugging the back. And I'm gonna lean away. You can almost pause in the music. Okay? So let's take that. I'll take it from, we just did our pike up and down. We did our shoulder stand. So now I'm gonna flip my grip so both my hands are under my shoulders. I'm gonna open my knees and I'm gonna lift my hips towards the ceiling, push my hands back. I can slowly slide my hands to my knees. I'm gonna pick up one knee. I can take a pause here and then I'm gonna spin, sit, and lean. And you should hear that in the music as well. Okay, we're gonna stop there for today. I do have more. If anyone wants to see more, just send me a message and I can make another video. We're gonna go through it once without music altogether, once with music altogether. And this is the same learning style that I do in class. I do small segments where we do with and without music. Okay, so let's take it from the top. No music, nice and slow. Hands down, knees towards the ceiling, toes are always pointed in this dance. I'm going to lift right, lift left, lower right, roll with both hands facing the front. Left leg is the last to hit the floor. I continue that roll onto my left side, crunch my knees in, top hand pushes top leg, slowly to get into a sitting position. Here you can experiment with head movements, arm movements. You have candle light as your musical cues. Both hands are going to come onto the left side. I'm going to roll onto my legs, keeping my chest high. I'm going to pike up onto the tops of my feet, bring it back down. I'm going to sit on my right side, roll onto my left side, sit on my knees. You may have some time to do a bit of a chest roll. My hands are going to plant into the floor. Head goes down first, body wave all the way down. Switch my grip. Front hand is placed under my right shoulder. Left hand goes back and extends to here. I'm going to push into the floor, lift my hips on the tops of my feet. If I feel comfortable, I will take my right leg and open, close, bring it all the way down. So now both hands are coming under my shoulder, open my knees, lift my hips, push it back, nice and slow. Now I'm going to take one leg, lift, balls of my foot, press. Don't forget about what you're doing with your arms. I'm going to spin, knees together, sit on my legs. I'm going to lean back nice and slow until almost hitting a pause. Okay, so let's try that all together with music. Okay, and here we go. So wait for the lyrics. My right leg is going to go first. We
Go on and close the
side crunch in, push it back,
'cause all we
to sit.
need
Now head,
is candlelight.
hands plant
You
low onto the tops of your legs. Pike it up,
and a bottle of
and down.
wine.
Right side,
I hold
back, left side, legs,
tonight.
and chest roll. Hands
Well,
body
we
in.
know
Good. Flip your grip to pike it up. Top leg opens, closes, back down. Flip your grip, both hands under your shoulders, legs squeeze apart, press it up. Good. Lift, press, spin, sit. Okay. I'll also attach a clip at the beginning of what the dance would look like without me talking through it. If you do try this at home, send me a message and let me know. And if there's anything you want clarification on, or if you do want to go on with the choreography in this format with videos, let me know. And thank you for dancing with me. I miss everybody so much.
Go on and close the curtains, 'cause all